Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jack and Emma English podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack.
We are so excited to have you with us today. Today's topic is one of the most important situations you will ever face in your professional life: a job interview in English.
Exactly. Job interviews are already stressful in your native language, but when you have to do an interview in English, your heart beats faster, your palms get sweaty, and it's very easy to forget your words.
That is completely normal. But here is the secret. Job interviews in the USA and other English-speaking countries follow a very predictable pattern. Hiring managers almost always ask the exact same questions. If you know how to structure your answers, you can sound confident, professional, and relaxed.
So today, we are giving you a complete B1 level masterclass. We are going to do a full, realistic roleplay of an American job interview. I will be the hiring manager at a digital marketing agency in Chicago, and Emma will be the candidate applying for a project manager position.
After the roleplay, we will break down the most common questions, explain exactly what the interviewer wants to hear, and give you the perfect vocabulary to use.
Make sure you listen carefully to Emma's tone of voice. In American interviews, it's very important to sound positive, enthusiastic, and polite. Ready? Let's jump right into the interview. Good morning, Emma. Please come in and have a seat. I'm Jack, the marketing director here. It's great to finally meet you in person.
Good morning, Jack. It's a pleasure to meet you too. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Of course. Did you have any trouble finding our office this morning?
Not at all. The directions in your email were very clear, and the train station is conveniently right across the street.
Glad to hear it. Well, let's get started. I have your resume right here, and your background looks very interesting. But to begin, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Well, I have been working in digital marketing for about 3 years now. I graduated from university with a degree in communications, and my first job was as a marketing assistant at a small tech startup. While I was there, I managed their social media accounts and helped organize online campaigns. I really enjoyed the fast-paced environment, but I am looking to take on more leadership responsibilities. That is why I am so excited about this project manager role at your agency.
That's great to hear. You mentioned taking on more responsibility. Why exactly do you want to work for our company?
I have been following your agency's work for a long time. I was incredibly impressed by the recent campaign you did for the local healthcare brand. I love that your company focuses on creative storytelling. I want to work somewhere where I can grow my skills, collaborate with a smart team, and contribute to meaningful projects like that.
Thank you. We are very proud of that campaign. Now, every candidate has different skills. What would you say is your greatest strength?
I would say my greatest strength is my organization and my ability to solve problems. In my last job, we often had very tight deadlines. I created a new calendar system that actually helped our team finish projects 10% faster. I am very good at keeping things on track and staying calm under pressure.
That is definitely a valuable skill for a project manager. On the other hand, what is your greatest weakness?
Well, in the past, I sometimes struggled with taking on too much work myself instead of asking for help. I used to think I had to do everything perfectly on my own. However, I have been actively working on this. I recently started using project management software to assign tasks to other team members, which has really improved our team's communication.
It's great that you recognize that and are taking steps to improve. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I would love to be a senior project manager or a team leader. I want to become an expert in my field and help train newer employees. I'm really looking for a company where I can build a long-term career.
Fantastic. Well, Emma, do you have any questions for me before we finish up?
Yes, actually. Could you tell me a little bit about the daily culture here? What is your favorite part about working for this company?
Oh, good question. My favorite part is definitely the collaboration. Everyone here is very supportive, and we do a lot of brainstorming together. It's a very open and creative environment.
That sounds exactly like the kind of environment I am looking for.
Great. Well, we are interviewing a few more candidates this week, but we will send you an email with an update by next Tuesday.
Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate your time. I look forward to hearing from you. And scene! We survived the interview! Did you notice how the tone of the conversation was professional, but still friendly and conversational?
Exactly. In the USA, an interview is not an interrogation. It is a two-way conversation. Now, let's break down the most common and most terrifying first question. Tell me about yourself.
A lot of B1 learners make a big mistake here. When the interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself," they do not want to hear your life story. They don't want to know how many brothers and sisters you have or what your favorite food is.
That's right. They are asking for your professional summary. You should talk about your past experience, your present situation, and your future goals.
Let's look at the structure I used in the role play. First, I stated my current experience using the present perfect continuous tense. I have been working in digital marketing for 3 years. I have been working in digital marketing for 3 years.
Next, Emma talked about her past experience simply and clearly. My first job was as a marketing assistant. My first job was as a marketing assistant.
And finally, you connect your past to the future, specifically the job you are interviewing for right now. That is why I am so excited about this project manager role. That is why I am so excited about this project manager role.
That is a perfect B1 level answer. It is short, confident, and highly relevant to the company.
The next big question you will hear is, why do you want to work for our company?
Do not say, because I need money, or because I need a job. Even if it's true, it sounds terrible. The hiring manager wants to know that you actually researched their business.
To sound natural and impressive, use the phrase, "I was impressed by," or "I have been following." Let's practice shadowing this sentence. I have been following your company's work for a long time. I have been following your company's work for a long time.
You can also talk about the company culture. You can say, I want to work somewhere where I can grow my skills. I want to work somewhere where I can grow my skills.
If you mention one specific detail about their company, like a recent project, a product they sell, or their company values, they will be incredibly impressed by your English and your preparation. Okay, we practiced how to introduce yourself and how to explain why you want the job. Now, we are going to look at the most difficult questions in any interview, talking about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your future.
Let's start with the question that makes everyone nervous. What is your greatest strength?
A lot of learners just give a list of adjectives. They say, I am hardworking, I am honest, and I am fast. That is okay, but it is a bit boring. To sound like a professional, you need to state your strength and then give a short example to prove it.
Exactly. In the USA or in any renowned companies, managers love when you give proof. In our role play, Emma didn't just say she was organized. She said she created a new calendar system that made her team 10% faster.
Let's practice the grammar for stating a strength. You can use the phrase, I would say my greatest strength is, followed by a noun. I would say my greatest strength is my organization. I would say my greatest strength is my organization.
You can also use, I am very good at, followed by a verb with an ing ending. I am very good at solving problems under pressure.
I am very good at solving problems under pressure. Okay, Jack. Now for the scariest question of all. What is your greatest weakness? Why do interviewers always ask this? Are they trying to trap us?
It definitely feels like a trap, But no, they are not. Interviewers ask this question to see if you are self-aware. They want to know if you can recognize your own mistakes and if you are willing to learn.
Whatever you do, please do not use the old cliché answer. My biggest weakness is that I work too hard, or I am a perfectionist. Managers hear that 100 times a day, and they know it isn't genuine.
So true. Instead, use the sandwich formula. You sandwich a real, minor weakness between a positive attitude and a solution. First, state a real weakness that will not destroy your chances of getting the job. Then, immediately explain how you are fixing it.
In our role play, I said I struggled with taking on too much work myself, which is a common issue for a project manager. But then I used a magic transition phrase. Listen to this. However, I have been actively working on this. However, I have been actively working on this.
Let's do another example you can steal for your next interview. Let's say your weakness is public speaking. You can say, "In the past, I struggled with speaking in front of large groups. However, I have been actively working on this by taking an online communication course."
In the past, I struggled with speaking in front of large groups. However, I have been actively working on this by taking an online communication course. That is a brilliant answer. It shows honesty, and it shows that you are actively trying to improve yourself.
Next up is the future question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
They are asking this because hiring a new employee is expensive. They want to make sure you are not going to quit after 2 months. They want to see ambition, but they also want to see loyalty.
To answer this, do not talk about your personal life. Don't say, "In 5 years, I see myself married, with a dog, living in Florida." Keep it strictly professional. Focus on growing your skills within their company.
You can use the phrase, "In 5 years, I would love to be." Let's practice. In 5 years, I would love to be a team leader. In 5 years, I would love to be a team leader.
Or you can talk about becoming an expert. I want to become an expert in my field and help train new employees. I want to become an expert in my field and help train new employees.
This tells the manager, I want to stay here, I want to work hard, and I want to bring value to your business for a long time.
Finally, we reach the end of the interview. The manager looks at you and says, "Do you have any questions for me?"
This is a test. Do not say, "No, I think you covered everything." That makes you look uninterested. You must always have at least 1 or 2 questions prepared.
And please, do not ask about vacation time, sick days, or your salary in the very first interview. Save those questions for when they actually offer you the job. Right now, ask questions that show you are excited about the work environment.
Let's practice 2 fantastic, safe questions that will leave a great final impression. Question 1. Asking about the culture. Could you tell me a little bit about the daily culture here? Could you tell me a little bit about the daily culture here? Question 2. Asking the manager about their own experience. People love talking about themselves. What is your favorite part about working for this company? What is your favorite part about working for this company?
If a candidate asks me what my favorite part of the job is, I instantly like them more. It turns a stressful interview into a friendly conversation.
All right, everybody, you made it through the entire interview masterclass. Now it is time for the most important part of the podcast, your speaking challenge.
Listening is wonderful, but to build your English confidence, you must open your mouth and speak out loud. So we want you to practice right now. I am going to ask you an interview question. I want you to pause the audio and answer me out loud in your room, in your car, or wherever you are right now.
Here is your question from Jack. Take a deep breath and good luck.
Thank you for coming in today. Could you tell me, What would you say is your greatest strength, and how do you use it in your work?
Yes! Great job! Even if you stumbled over your words, the fact that you tried is a huge step forward.
To take this practice to the next level, I want you to write down your answer to the "What is your greatest weakness?" question. Use the sandwich formula we taught you and post it in the YouTube comments below. We are going to read through them and give feedback to help you perfect your answer.
Thank you so much for joining us for this special job interview episode. Job interviews can be scary, but with the right vocabulary and a little bit of practice, you can walk into any office and impress the hiring manager.
We believe in you. If this episode gave you confidence today, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Jack and Emma English podcast, and share this video with a friend who is looking for a new job.
Have a fantastic, productive week, everyone. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we will see you next time.
Best of luck on your next interview. Bye, everyone.
Bye!